Welcome to this month's episode of Conscious Connection, where soul meets soul. Each month we sit with a beautiful soul sharing their unique medicine, magic, and message with our world. Join the conversation. Hello, 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 and welcome back to the show. Our returning queen, Miss
Awesome.
Raschell Harlington.
Thank
Thank you so much, beautiful sister, for coming back to the
you.
Fear to Freedom Project. I'm so glad to have you.
No, thank you, thank you, thank you. I'm so honored to be here.
Yeah, how are you doing?
I'm good.
Good.
Most of us were going through and the ebbs and flows of life, right?
Yes, yes, absolutely. Um and sometimes we call that a beautiful thing. And sometimes it doesn't feel so beautiful. I just want everyone to know who you are. Raschell Harlington is an international best-selling author of Now What? Addicted to Bliss, Your Prosperity Blueprint, and her latest book, The Journey of Transformation. She is a transformational coach, a podcast host, speaker, numerologist, and a deliverer of light language. And I'm just glad to have you back to the show. I'm just glad to deep bow to you, Queen
Oh.
Raschell. Absolutely. Yeah. What you're doing is
Hmm.
you are spreading and sharing your gift with humanity. And I love to highlight my conscious connections so that people can know how to get in touch with you, how to transform their lives, what is, light language. And it's just all like a beautiful connection that we have with each
Mm-hmm.
other. You feel that?
I do.
Yeah, good. What's been going on with you? Any transitions or transformations since the last time we talked? You were here last year. You
Okay.
were one of my first uh, guests,
Mhm.
and of course, you were introduced to me by my cousin, and we have just been inseparable. It was such a great thing that he did there,
You did,
and
yes.
yeah.
Um, building my podcast, expanding it. So now that I still do my podcast, but I am now making a conscious effort to really seek out transformational stories and actually fly and travel to these places. So I did one recently in Bocas, and I'm going to be going back to Bocas in October to interview a beautiful woman who's supporting the Mayan community there, and all about cacao and the health benefits. And so I'm very, very excited. And I'd like to do that at least 3 times a year, because going and experiencing, actually feeling the person and meeting them and seeing the transformation is incredible. And I
Mhm.
have the opportunity to do that. So, yeah, that's sort of where my podcast, numerology is always there. It is something I share with so many people. And, it really helps people understand where their business is, where their life is going. And sometimes also, if their name is balanced, because that is a
Mhm.
huge part of it. Um,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know, and there's a few other parts to my life that are sort of in transition right now, that I'm sort of putting things in place, but we'll see how that all pans out. As you know, it's kind of like a puzzle, and you're putting the little pieces in, and you're like,
Yeah.
I like this one. Yeah, that, no, that doesn't go there. So, yeah, that's collaborations coming, and we'll see where it all goes. So
Well, I
very
like
excited.
that you're doing this in Bocas. Of course, I'm a resident of Panama, so
I do.
I love that. And I've not even ever been to Bocas, but I heard it's quite beautiful up
It
there.
is.
So, are you going to be an administrator of cacao? Are you going to like give ceremonies? Because that's what I heard about cacao. Can you tell the
Um,
audience what cacao is?
so cacao is a tree, and it bears the cacao nibs, which you can from that, grind and make into a chocolate sort of block where you can have that raw cacao. It's made in a way that you could add honey. You can have that. It's very great for you for so many incredible health benefits. The nibs you can use. It is a little bitter, so you do have to add a sweetener to it. You can make your own chocolate with cacao. You can just add a few things and make your own chocolate at home, and it's just as good. But there is, I'm still kind of working on the placement of everything, but my podcast is all about helping people understand how to transform their lives.
Yeah.
And I think I'm going to lean a little bit more towards the cacao, with people understanding that when they help their mind and their body, their soul can fly. So it's
Mm.
about bringing the mind, body, and soul together. And that means taking care of ourselves. The benefits of cacao are massive, like they're massive. And a lot of North America doesn't realize that. And as they
Mm.
call it, the drink of the gods. So there is some things that are still in place. So I don't want to say too much yet because I'm still trying to get everything organized. But
Mhm.
I want to learn more about it. I want to go there. I want to speak with Matilda. And there's a beautiful gentleman down there who's going to do all my videography and video the whole thing live. So it will be quite cool. Yeah.
Good. I'm excited to hear that and see how that unfolds. I know it's going to be amazing, of
Thank you.
course. Yeah, so I was listening to one of your solo podcasts and I heard you talking about the 369 method of reprogramming your brain, like when you're in a sleep wake state. And you were talking about like reciting positive affirmations to help you to reprogram your brain. And I wanted to ask you a question about that. Do
Mm-hmm.
you believe that it's just not enough just to recite the affirmations, but you really need to believe what you're reciting?
All right. So this is what I'm going to tell you. When we're children, our brain is in theta a lot of the time when we're small children, which means we are the closest to consciousness. As we grow older, we start to move into a more of an alpha state. So that tends to, we have beliefs and we have disappointments and we have our mind always saying, oh, that's not really true. The thing about the 369 is to get yourself into that theta where you are feeling the emotion, where you're connecting the heart and the mind together.
Mhm.
So bringing those two together through, feelings, emotion. When you feel good about something, your whole body feels good. You start to
Mhm.
vibrate at a different vibration, and you start to push that out to the ether. And then remember, every single idea that anybody has thought about is already out there in the ether, or
Oh, yeah.
people call it the Akashic Record. It's out there. When you put out that energy, you're connecting with it. Its vibration matches, it brings it back. So saying those things, but you have to believe it with that intention. You know how a little child wants to be a space, they want to be an astronaut and they believe it. They're running around with this piece of paper on their head and this broom, and they're like, I am going to the moon. And they're like,
Yes.
no, this is my moon, this is my spaceship, and I'm going there. And they're so connected to that theta
Yes.
because they
Yes.
believe that's where you have to get. That's where
Mhm.
you have to get. So you
Yeah,
can believe it. Yeah.
okay. I'm glad to hear you say that because it's important not to because I was reciting affirmations, but I did not believe them.
Mm.
So it's important for anyone to know that you can't just recite these affirmations. You have to believe them. But I get the point of you reciting them over and over again to you get to a place where you believe them. You're like, reprogramming your brain. However, I just thought I don't really believe this. I think I'm just saying this because someone is telling me to say it and
Mhm.
that it is going to work a certain way or that I'm going to manifest something or I don't know what I was expecting for, everything to change and things did not change. I needed to believe what I was saying to myself.
Hmm. You do. It's so important. And it's getting into that space, getting quiet, dropping
Mhm.
into the heart, being at peace with yourself, feeling good, and starting, by simply saying, I am sovereign, I am perfect, I am whole, all those things that you need to say to make yourself feel good, and affirmations that are, not, I want to be this, I want to be that, but that you
Right.
are whole, that you are sovereign, that you are perfect.
Yes, that
There
you're
is
already those things.
You already are all those
Those
things. So you don't need to be them because you already are them. So to reaffirm that with you, you are beautiful and you are at peace. You can achieve anything you want. There when we start to say that society puts so much negativity that people start to look outside of themselves, and this, for the
yes.
validation of whether or not they're good enough, of whether or not they should proceed. But you already have everything already there. So you don't need anybody else to give you validation. And
Yeah.
I think that's the biggest message that I try to share with people is that uh, really, who cares what other people think? That's their own story. That's their own parallel universe. Be specific on what you want. And the older I get, the more I realize that it is so important that I pay attention to what I want and nothing else,
Matters.
because everything else around has got nothing to do with me. How that person thinks of me, what do I care? They're not part of my ultimate, purpose, what I want to do with my life. It may sound a little selfish, but at the end of the day, you have to be a little selfish because you are creating this life for you. So why not make it the best it can be, right?
Yes, you agreed to come here and do this. So, you know what? It's all about you. And I believe that self love is the greatest love of all.
Yes.
So I don't look at it as selfish. It is loving yourself, your whole self, everything about you. And what we were not taught is that we're whole and complete already. That
Hmm.
that's the biggest thing that we were not taught, I think, as a collective,
Of
that you're
course.
already
Yes.
whole and complete, so there's no reason to look outside of yourself. So I just think it's beautiful that it's like, I think it's beautiful to actually be aware of that and
Hmm.
know, yes, and to transform yourself and to look at things from a different lens, from a different point of view. So, not that scarcity point of view. Well, I want
Yes.
to talk about also light language. That's something that I have had the experience with you of listening to you deliver light language. And the first time that I heard light language, it was, it may have been Shaman Durek or Aaron Lyons, but listening to, other podcasters, a couple other podcasters, I had never heard it before. And then I had an experience with an Akashic Records practitioner, and she delivered light language in the records. So
Mm.
I'm very interested about it. One thing that I can, like, maybe I can draw a connection to, and maybe the audience will connect to this. But when we were younger, we would hear people in church speaking in tongues.
Yes.
And so that is my connection to, like, this beautiful language that you deliver. I didn't think it was beautiful then when I heard it as a child. I didn't really understand it. And so I would love for you to just kind of talk about that. I'm very interested to know, yeah, what is light language?
Well, I think in the best way I can describe it, light language is the language of your soul. It's a vibration and tones. It's not specific words, it's tones and vibration. It's like tuning the radio in to specific vibration.
Mhm.
Um, I was very intrigued by it. I started looking into it probably in 2020. And that's when I connected with a beautiful soul by the name of Jamie Price, who is from Sedona. She teaches and has sessions and ceremonies around light language and learning to speak it. Unfortunately, it was COVID, so I was not able to fly, and she hadn't yet pushed it on to online. But I did read her book, Opening to Light Language, and I was very intrigued by the book. And I just had this innate feeling because I think about 3 years prior to that, I was doing a workshop with a wonderful woman by the name of Selena Moon. And she was she was scribbling. And I said, what are you doing? And she said, I'm drawing light language symbols. This was back in probably 2017, 2018. I said, oh, that's interesting. So moving forward to 2020, I read the book, and I remember the first experience. I woke up and I wasn't speaking, but I woke up, and it was probably, I have no idea what the time was. And my hands were doing signs,
Mm-hmm.
and they were moving. And I was like, okay, I'm awake. I'm gonna, like, I'm awake. Yes, I'm awake. I'm awake. And I was looking around the room. I'm like, I'm awake. My hands are moving by themselves, and they were going, and I was not controlling them. I was watching my hands do this. And I wasn't freaked out, but I was very intrigued. And this went on, I don't know because it was the middle of the night, but it went on long enough that my arms started to ache. And so I said, could you stop? Because my arms are aching now. And then it slowly, slowly, slowly stopped. And then my hands rested.
Wow.
And that was my first experience with the coding like this, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, so nothing really happened after that for a little bit. And then I ended up finding a beautiful woman by the name of Deborah, who I connected with. And I knew immediately. And it was actually, I think, around just after, I think it was just after a solar eclipse. I connected with her. I didn't even hesitate, booked the date, and wanted to become activated. I knew without a doubt that that was what I needed to do.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember the first little bit was a little hard because she said, oh my gosh, there's so many, they're coming in, all your guides and everybody, there's
Wow.
Lyran, there's Palladian, there's fairies, there's gnomes. And she goes, I'm going to open the window because I'm feeling very, holy cow, there's a lot.
Overwhelmed.
She was.
I can imagine.
And I'm sitting there on the other end of the camera going, what? So she did the whole activation. I felt my whole body heat up.
Mm-hmm.
And so I started speaking a little bit of light language. It was very light. And she said, oh, the fairies are saying, did you forget? Did you forget us? And I was like laughing. So it sat there for probably a little bit. And then I connected with my beautiful sisters, Lily Lee and Dina Fortune, who both speak light language. And that was it. It was like after that, I started, more dialects started to come in. And so I think I speak about 6 or 7 now. Dragon, Palladian, blue avian Palladian, gnome, fairy, a little bit of mantis, and Lyran as well. And yeah, it just comes. And I was very shy. Believe me, I was very shy. So I'd sit in the car with Lily as we were driving, and she'd like, go ahead, you can do it. And so I'd start speaking. She goes, that's dragon that you're speaking. I had no idea. Now, what I noticed over the period of time, so I was in New York, I think in 2023. So from now till then, is I would speak with feeling. But now when I speak, I know what I'm saying. Like I can feel the feeling of what I'm trying to say to you as I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying it. And when I met Lily, I remember I got out of the car, I walked over to her and immediately spoke Lyran, and tears came in my eyes. Just, I was standing there in the parking lot. Thank God no one was watching us. They're probably thinking these two crazy, because tears were in my eyes, and I was speaking light language to her. It was Lyran, and she said, wow. And she said, what I got from that was like, it's about time we finally connected again. And
Oh, I was gonna ask you, like, what activates the language to come through? Is there some type of preempt, like
great
any?
question. Great question. It's an emotion.
Mm.
It's an emotion. So if you
So
ask me
it,
to speak it, I have to take a moment to kind of get into place. But if, for example, when I went to meet Lily, I was very excited because I knew her. I could feel, I knew her soul, and she lived in Toronto. So when I got out of the car and stood beside her, the emotion overwhelm of like, oh my God, I know you. You're my
you were
soul
at
sister. I
home.
feel you. I
Yeah.
feel like you're my home, and immediately started talking to her. I did the same with a beautiful soul by the name of Dr. Nupi. We were in New York, in Manhattan, and each of us were speaking. And when I got to her, my, again, Lyran was so strong and direct And her whole face, she started crying because she said, "Oh my God, I can feel the love coming at me." And
Oh,
it was telling her, "I love you, I miss you. We are finally together again." So, and
that's
then there's the
beautiful.
playful, like, sometimes uh, when I'm out in nature, I can't see them, but I can feel them, and I can feel the fairies and the gnomes, right, in the trees. And so I will start to talk. And it's interesting because if I'm with a dog, the
Hmm.
dog will literally, and I kid you not, turn and look at me. Like, just
Really?
look at me as I'm talking.
Like,
Yes.
like it knows
As if
exactly what you're
they
saying.
know what I'm doing. Because
Yeah,
remember, it's a vibration, it's a
right,
sound, it's not a word. It's not like
right.
I'm speaking words. So it's very interesting. Yeah.
Well, how did your village respond to this? Like your family and friends, have you delivered the light language to them? Like what did they say? You
Okay.
know how that can go, right?
Another really great question. So the only person I really shared it with is my daughter, who is very connected and is actually a soul family um, member. Like, we are from the same soul family. My son, I
Mhm.
have not. I don't think he is ready for that. I have spoken to one or two friends, but a lot of my community now is so in, like, they understand it, that it's not, it's nothing bizarre. There are
Okay.
certain people I would not share it with because it's not that it's they think I'm crazy, but I just, they're not at that point in their life, so it's not worth me trying to explain something to them that maybe it's not their time, right?
So it's like, is that your immediate family? Do like your parents or
Okay,
siblings?
so
You have a brother.
my mother has tons of fairies around her, but my mother is not well, so when I go there I can feel them all. She says she
Okay.
sees them, I can feel them.
Okay.
So I know they're around her. My father is too analytical, so no, I don't share that with him. My brother is the same way, so I share it
Yeah,
with
most
I share
men.
it with mostly like my soul family, people that I've met that are now my family. My
Yeah.
blood family, not so much, and my
Okay.
community, so. Yeah,
I was
it's
wondering.
everybody has it. The thing is, it is innate to
Hmm.
every soul on this planet, but
Hmm.
it's whether or not it's part of your contract, part of what you want to do, whether or not you're ready to open up to that.
Hmm. Hmm. And what would you say opened you up? Like I know you. What would
Mhm.
you say? Like you knew that without a doubt that you were comfortable with sharing the light language, or just
But
yeah, accepting that. How did you accept it?
that's a good question. I never had any judgment. I just
Mm,
knew when
good for you.
I met Jamie. I found her through Gaia. I listened to her speak Lyran, and I knew immediately I had to work with her. It was a non-negotiable. But
So it was a
because of
knowing.
COVID, we just couldn't connect
Yeah.
that way. But it was the beginning of my steps, right? It was the beginning.
Hmm.
And I honestly believe it was my beautiful friend Selena Moon, because she would scribe, and I thought that's really interesting, but I didn't know then what I know now.
Hmm.
So I think everybody's journey is different. It is very healing. Um, and there are many, like my friend Lily, that do lots of healing online, and they'll do the light language. She does a lot of praying mantis. For
Hmm.
me, I connect with the Lyrans, the blue avian, and the fairies. Those are
Hmm.
some of my biggest ones. Yeah.
What would you say to someone who doesn't even know what bliss is? Why is it so important to be addicted to bliss and not be addicted to something that is adversarial to bliss, you know? So we can be addicted to a lot of things, okay? Sugar is one of them, okay? Just anything. So, but what about bliss? What makes that so attractive?
Because when you are in bliss, when you are at that height of happiness, you vibrate at a different frequency. You align differently. You connect with people. So being addicted to the bliss of your life, the bliss of who you are, is such a beautiful thing, right? You you can be addicted to all those other things to cope, but being addicted to the bliss within your life is amazing. Getting up and
Hmm.
being so blissful that you can create every single day.
Yes.
And I post about it. I talk about it like it's a brand new day. What are you going to create? What is going to be
Hmm.
blissful in your life? Like, how are you
Hmm.
going to do it?
Hmm.
Because you can do it
Hmm.
every single day differently, right?
And you know what you said that is so profound is that being addicted to that, being in that state is raising your vibration. Like
Yes.
we are energy and frequency. So I know that we're telling people to, recite the affirmations, and that is good. But what's so important and what I have found is that keeping my vibrational level high,
Yeah.
because then the things that I am attracted to, they're
Yeah.
coming towards me. You know what I mean? They're
Yeah.
attracted to me as well. So being in a high vibrational state, that means that you are going to be attracted to high vibrational stuff, all of the
Absolutely.
things. Yeah.
Yeah, you're going to bring that to you. You know,
Mm,
and you actually are going to feel out of alignment when someone is in a low vibration. You'll actually
yeah.
feel a little bit like uncomfortable, and you'll want to disassociate, pull away, walk away because the vibration, it's like, when it's all about like when you tune into a radio station and you're trying to get that specific station and you're getting static and static, and so
Yes.
I'll find another station, and then bang, you get that station, and then it's nice, and that's all you are, is you're just you're tuning your vibration to something that resonates with you, something that feels good. And that's also what light language is. You're tuning in you're that frequency of those different galactic
Mm-hmm.
beings.
Mm. Well, I would love for you. Do you feel compelled or drawn to, deliver light language for humanity, for the audience at this time? I feel some really tingly stuff going on in my body. Like I can tell that my vibration is high. And I would love to have a message. Like, so another question, I'm just interested in all of it because it's just interesting, like to kind of remember we're going through this journey and we're remembering who we really are.
Yes.
So, that spiritual amnesia or spiritual Alzheimer's that I call it, that we buy into, in this reality game is, yeah, I don't remember stuff. I don't know this stuff. So I'm very intrigued by everything and interested in
Hmm.
it. So, like, so is it something where the cosmic entities or our cosmic brothers and sisters or ancestors want to deliver a message to us? Is that how it comes through?
um it,
Or
I think that it's one of those things where it is you're connecting to that vibration, but the feelings and the things that you're saying, the things that you're saying are coming from your heart space, and you're connecting through the vibration of the language. So I don't know. I mean, like I said at the very beginning, when I met Lily, the full a feeling of emotion and love immediately just
mm,
came out. And it wasn't like it was scripted. It wasn't like I thought about it. It just immediately came.
mm,
And the tears in my eyes when I met her. And so I don't know. I don't know if it can be consider channeling, maybe perhaps because you are vibrating
mhm,
at a certain level, a certain frequency. um but it's something you get activated when you're ready. Some people activate themselves, some people are already activated. A lot of the younger generation are already activated with it.
mm.
um
I bet.
yes. um
Less barriers.
yeah, less barriers. But yeah, it's an interesting thing. Yes, I love it because it feels like when you're in it, when you're speaking it, the vibration feels different. It's different than speaking.
Mm. Well, I would love for you to share this beautiful gift with
Hmm.
with
Well, we all
me.
have this gift. You as well. It's just whether
Yes.
you choose to to become activated and start, right. And then it's a process of just seeing which one comes through stronger for you. So yeah,
Mm.
sure. I will definitely just I'll just take a moment here. Doriania horotia borea tiana hora. Himaratia tora diamora. Iatara bahratia dora niaktara. Umaharia tida. Ura bahri tu ru maharia tutoroa. Iarodo bida hra yesodo. Umahria tia dora tia. Horia Maria Saro Horia Tiatro Sierra. Porreta So the first message was from the Lyrians,
Oh, wow. Okay.
and that was to tell you you're a beautiful soul and you have so much power within you. And the
Thank
second
you.
one was from the fairies to tell you to live, to play, to be light, to be childlike.
Mm. I've been getting that message to be childlike, to play. I've been getting that message like over and over again. Wow, thank you so much for that. I can feel the energy of that. It feels very tickly to me. It feels very good. The energy feels good. It does not
Yeah.
feel, it feels very light and airy. And it feels like when I'm tickled as a child. Yeah, honestly. And I love that. I love that feeling. I really do.
Yes.
It's
So
reminds me of being a child, actually. The feeling
yes,
that I
because the
just got.
Lyrans came through first because I got the inclination to say it in Lyran to you first, and then I could feel the fairies pushing through here, and I was like, they want to come through to tell you to be childlike, not to forget, to play, to be light, to enjoy.
Mm,
So the fairies are all about the life, are all about playing, all about
mm.
love.
Yes, I love that.
They're saying, come and play with us. Come and play with us.
Oh yeah. Oh my gosh. That's
Yes.
so beautiful. Thank you so much
Oh, you're
for
so welcome.
mm, just for sharing your gift with everyone. And listen to the audience. You can follow Raschell. You can reach her here on raschellharlington.ca. And that's for everyone that is listening. You can also check the show notes to see where you can purchase her books. You can follow her on YouTube. You can
Mhm.
also follow her on Spotify, LinkedIn, and read some articles. She's got some really nice articles on the Medium. I uploaded a few articles there.
Oh,
It's just
thank
like
you.
I did. So I am a member of the Medium. I love to read the articles. So I really would just like to give a deep bow to you today
Oh,
and thank you
thank
so much
you.
for coming to my channel and sharing your gift. I love your sistership, your sisterhood. I really do. I love our times where we talk and just let ourselves go and hold space for each other. I really appreciate that. And yeah, I will see you again. If this is your first time to the channel, I would love to welcome you to the Fear to Freedom Project. And if you are a returning champion, thank you. Listen, subscribe to the channel and share this beautiful channel with someone that you love because we're going to be around here for a while. Thank you so much for coming, sister. I
Oh, you're
appreciate you.
welcome.
Yes.